are not armed with the basics of journalism. Now, when you take a student that's coming out of Rhodes, Fort Hare, Wits, Cape Town, and you put them, they are so different. I'm not looking to be given a student who will know what I want in my newsroom or in my organization because it's different. But I'm looking for a student that has been capacitated with the basic skills to think on their feet, to know that if I need to run and get something, I'll do it, that are energetic, that are passionate. And our institutions are not teaching us that. The things that Cynthia was talking about, if I have to go and get a picture, I'm not looking for a student that will come back and say, I couldn't get close enough. I just couldn't. So did you record? There were many other recorders there. I couldn't find a place to put my recorder. I'm definitely not looking for that. I'm looking for a student who will come with the story, no matter what. I may even be looking for a student who will tell me the same story that, you know what, I couldn't find a space to put my recorder there, but you know what, I brought this story instead. So you are looking for a student who's got all these other, skills that our institutions are not imparting to, to the students. You asked a question about where is this information. I'm thinking, should I be brutal with you? Should I be gentle? Let me be brutal. If you are serious about your industry, you would not be asking me that question. One, you should not be asking me a question about my 8 stations because you would know that there's no way that AB ever got 8 stations. Because you would know what's happening in your industry. So definitely we didn't apply for 8 more stations. We applied for 2 and we got them in Masvingo and in Gweru. How did we advertise? We advertised on Zifm because it is our station, and we advertised in the newspapers. So for a whole month we've been running adverts on Zifm. We've been running adverts in newspapers that are in Masvingo, which is Masvingo Mira. But we've run adverts in Southern Eye. We've run adverts in the Chronicle because of Gweru. That's the proximity. And Gweru Times. So we've been running those adverts because the 2 radio stations that we are going to be launching soon are metro stations. So we are really looking for people that are from Gweru, people that are from Masvingo. But that as it may, we were still advertising on a national radio station.
Professor, you are so right. I think that as the media, we could have done more in terms of our reportage. But I think that without beating my own horn, I think that as the Daily News, we have done our bit. And personally, I think what happened with the former vice president, actually put us 2 steps behind, because I think we were getting to a point where, we probably, if things had not turned out that way with Maimujuru, would have probably had the first democratically elected female president. So it's not only about how the media, reacted to Maimujuru's sacking, but even how, as a whole, even the women's movement reacted to such a thing. Because I mean, we've been crying out for equal opportunities. We've been crying out for equal participation, particularly in politics. So I think to a larger extent, as a whole community of women, we did let Maimujuru down. Because I think there could have been more support with the women's organizations, the media involved, including, and everybody else. We could have rallied enough support behind her. I don't know if I've answered your question or you want me to say more.
It's just flowing your position.
Okay, but politics is a dirty game, right? So, like, once we're in the field, doesn't matter, are you a woman, are you a man? Like, you know, this is it. If this is the angle we're going with, that's it. Is there space to have that thinking in the political realm to say, okay, but, you know, as the women's movement and as women, we should protect each other and, like, not be brutal in this way? I mean, if it's like, hey, this is what Nasala oppressed today, are you meant to have that sensitivity, or are you just meant to go with it?
I think that just like in life, you have to know which battles to fight. And I think this is one battle that we should have fought, you know, as women. Even the women's movement, I really do feel a little bit let down by us as, you know, women as a whole. Because there are so many battles that we fight out there. But this was also one of the very major battles that we really should have fought on. And politics, like you said, is a very, very dirty game. And you really have to be strategic about you know, how you maneuver in this game.
Rimbo, do you still want to know about the, sorry, Venerable, do you still want to know about the black? Well, I had dreadlocks at the time, so you can imagine.
Interesting perspectives. There's more questions coming up, but then I'd also want to quickly ask you, if you're saying that your students coming from universities like Rhodes are competing against universities students from universities like NUST, and the difference is very clear, is then education, I mean, it seems to be that education is more and more becoming a privilege. So if you don't have the resources to send yourself somewhere, then that's it. Like, you're not going to get the jobs. How then do we deal with all these educated people who can't get any jobs because they are not competitive, even in their own local market? What are we then going to do with all these young people?
You know what, I actually don't think it's about the resources. I think it's about the curriculum. Yes, it is a fact that the student who will leave this place to go to South Africa probably has the resources. But guess what? The interesting thing about this is that this student who's gone to 40A and Rhodes, they're probably going there because they didn't make the cut in terms of points to go to NUST or UZ or MSU. Interestingly enough, this is somebody who got 2-3 points and couldn't make it to NUST to join you guys when you went to NUST. Others, yes, others is about choice now, which is a great thing. But I actually believe it's about the curriculum. We need to review our curriculum so that it meets our needs. Because the needs I'm talking about are not foreign needs. They are my needs here in Zimbabwe, in a Zimbabwean institution, company. So it means the educational institution must match that. What I was basically saying was, I was agreeing with her that there needs to be that, you know, discussion between where you want your student to go after 4 years, and that's where the issue is. If you are a serious institution of learning, surely you need to be feeding your market. These educational institutions need to really understand what is it that the market needs, so that you are not churning out graduates who are sitting at home when I can't find a good, you know, journalist to write those best, you know, front page stories, where I can't find that the next political editor like Thelma. That's what I'm saying. But it's not really about those resources. It's about a mismatch within our country, where the educational institution must be very clear what the local environment requires and feed that local environment. Yes, there needs to be more discussion between the employers, and the educational institutions.
Thank you. We'll take a question from Tendai.
Thank you. My name is Tendai. Hi, Tendai. I've got a nice name. So, it's a question, comment, it's in there. And for me, the training, if training is such a big deal, then why don't we treat journalism like articles, straight from high school into journalism, and you learn from it. And I remember I really wanted to do journalism way back, but my dad didn't want me to go to Rhodes because I was a special child. So, and he said to me, a degree is basic for whatever it is that you then want to do. So you can do an undergrad in whatever you want, in anything, and then you specialize. And that's why I want to agree with Susan to say, you, and not, Tendai, because you've got a beautiful name, I'm not saying you're wrong, that if I did an undergrad in psychology and then want to then do journalism because I have a good voice, you can hear it, I got good English, perfect sentences, I think on my feet, I'm selling myself. So, but then you want to do that, you want to do, I think there should be room for people to do that. Because I have a biochemist friend who's doing marketing, and she did a whole 4 years at the Newsday, but now she's doing marketing. So I think we should cut us some slack and say, if Ruveneko is brilliant and she studied what she studied, then let her be